And that is what every single individual can do. That is how each of us can make a difference. It's not on the government. It's not on all political parties. It's never about we can't do. We can do it because all human destiny is moved by single individuals and single acts of heroism. These ladies, Jack, myself, have been a pretty long day, 13, 14 hours. I want to address these thoughts to all of you. And I want to go back to something I said at the beginning, and I'm not sure you're getting it. There's been a lot of questions about geopolitical affairs, military affairs, Israel, all proper. What I said at the beginning still goes. We know all this. The reason that this day has been called the question of values, ways of response to the Islamist challenge, has to do with what we can do. We know that Israel is wonderful. But it's not wonderful because Jews are better, or chosen, or right. It's wonderful because they're different, and they're stubborn, and they're free. This took a lot of planning and a lot of thought. And what really ticked off Jack and me that August 6th, Hezbollah rally day in Montreal? That. Pictures of Nasrallah. Pictures of other mullahs on the streets of Montreal amongst a sea of Hezbollah flags. This. Pictures of PQ leaders, labor leaders in front of defiled prayer shawls. It says, defiled by Zionist enemies. This was a pandering to blood in our own country. We cannot fight a pandering to blood by a lionization of someone else's blood. It's irrelevant. What is relevant is to stand by those political leaders and to engage yourselves in the process. Where you are saying to your leaders in Quebec and in Canada that you are citizens of the world, that you demand, Honorable Nazanin said, a Chinese wall between state and faith, that you demand singular respect for every individual, not pandering to any parochial particularities. Only when that happens can any nation, especially Israel, which is the frontline nation in the family of free nations, be successful and survive. If you assure the survival and success of liberty, you assure the survival and success of Israel and every other free nation. If you merely make an argument of how wonderful it is, you miss the point and you're not going to be listened to. And there are many allies, and as Nazanin said, there are distinctions. And I want to close on a good note. Several weeks ago, the Institute helped organize logistics for several groups of Iranian dissidents from Toronto, from Los Angeles, to protest the visit of former Iranian President Khatami to Washington. Khatami was the president under whom Zahra Kazemi was killed. Khatami was the president who put Zaid Mortazawi as the Procurator General of Iran. Khatami was the man who suggested to Ahmadinejad to appoint Zaid Mortazawi as a special observer to the Human Rights Council. We tried to get Khatami, under the Pinochet precedent, arrested in Washington and failed. But this morning, Hamid Saadi, an Iranian lawyer, now working in London, and many other members of this coalition, served President Khatami, the Iranian president, who was getting a doctoral degree at St. Andrews University in Scotland. Yep. He was served by bailiff. He was served with a criminal warrant, the way Augusto Pinochet was served with a criminal warrant issued by the Spanish government, and it was served on him in Scotland. What the British government decides to do today, we don't know. But this is what the question of values and the ways of response. We respond to common universalities. That's the only way that you're going to be protected here. That's the only way that you're going to get governments that understand that you support frontline nations like Israel, not because of blood, not because of language, not because of bloodlines of descent, but because we stand with the free, and no one can argue about that. And that's the message I want you to take home to yourselves, to your family, to your children, to your members of Parliament, to your members of the National Assembly. We will no longer deal with a situation in Canada or Quebec of sang et langue, of blood and language. We will deal only with a question of liberté and nothing less. Thank you very much.